I want to cover what Gator Wrestling is and why it is so important to the beginning of your journey. And Gator Wrestling can be done at any stage of all 6 Gator phases. So what we're going to talk about today is a handful of things. I want to interview Kevin Choe, a young 22-year-old kid. Man, he's a grown man, but he's still growing up. You know what's funny though is I'm still growing up. Hold on, let me unmute you. Can everybody hear him okay? Say hi, Kevin.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
Very grateful to be here.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So this is the Gator Tribe. Kevin is a new Gator, but he's been doing Gator wrestling for a couple of months, and he's been doing Gator incorrectly for a little while. And so what we're going to talk about today is his journey. And Kevin's been in my Subto mentorship for how long?
2 years and 5 months now, 2.5 years.
Has it been horrible?
It's been phenomenal.
Like the best thing you ever did?
It's the best thing. It's so much fun. Like made good money.
How much have you made this year so far?
110.
And it's only March or April.
Yeah, halfway through April, yeah.
$110,000. That is pretty amazing. Pace, you sound like you have a lisp. Yeah, I probably do. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. You know, the best closer I ever met in my life had a lisp. All right, so here's what I want you guys to know before we get started. Gator 1.0 is us teaching you how to JV. You are not a lender, okay? That is a word we do not use. I do not say I'm a Gator lender, okay? I just say I'm a Gator. That's it, all right? And what I'm doing is I'm not lending, I'm JVing, I'm joint venturing with wholesalers. So wholesaler has a contract on a house. He needs EMD. If you don't know what EMD is, that means you skip the training. He needs EMD to get that deal done. And he says, I'm gonna go to the title company. The title company says, hey, dude, by the way, we've done this training already. Just remember, I've done multiple training for you guys on this. So do not make me go slow through this. This is not a training on what Gator 1.0 is. I just want to get to some very, very basic surface level stuff. So you guys come in and you go, hey, I will give you that EMD money. Where does that EMD money come from? Should it come from your own pocket? No. Now, can it? Sure. Okay, so should it come from your own pocket? No. Where that money should come from, it should come from your PCS line of credit or credit cards. Okay, PCS line of credit. Also, Carly's working on getting the company Plastique to come in at some point in the next couple of months to come in and do an interview with us on how to use Plastique using a credit card to pull money off. Okay, so you want to either A, get it from your PCS line of credit, or B, if you don't have your line of credit from PCS yet, right? Because I know that when you join Gator, you go out and they're going to build your corporate credit for you. That's part of your Gator package. But B, where could you get the money if you don't have the money yet? Is you could do Gator Wrestling. And so today we're going to talk about Gator Wrestling. I'll give you a quick description of this real quick on a deal I just did. Okay. You don't have to have your own money to be a Gator. You don't have to even have your line of credit set up yet. You can be a Gator wrestler. And that is what Kevin has been doing for the last couple of months. Some of it he's been doing correctly and other parts of it he's been doing incorrectly. And so today we're going to give you guys a tale of a cautionary tale, a Gator tale. And here's a deal that I just did. Kevin, you actually watched this deal happen live in my office. You remember the other day when I had no money in my bank account?
Oh, yes.
You and Chris were in my office?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So check this out. Here's the line of how this happened. Myron, who is a Subto student, and Carolyn in Dallas, they get a contract on a property in San Angelo, Texas. They know that I'm a buyer on this deal. It is a Subto deal, which means I'm taking over the existing mortgage on this house, and I'm going to turn this into a rental. The problem is the contract that they obtained from the seller had a $5,000 EMD requirement, and it had to be wired the day of the contract being signed. How much money did I have? Did I pull up my bank account and tell you?
You showed me, but I don't remember. I know you didn't. It was less than $5,000.
It was $2,000. So Carolyn and Myron call me. This is Pace. Dang it, how could I drive bigger muscles on me? Okay, that's Pace. Obviously with the big muscles, that's definitely Pace, okay? So they call Pace. Pace looks at his bank account live with Kevin in my office, and I go, crap, I only have $2,000. So what did I do?
You called up another Gator student, I think?
Yep, I called Danny Gish. Okay, she's local here. So I called Danny. I had just met her at a Gator meetup. Okay, I met her at a Gator meetup. She's like, oh my gosh, Pace, my husband and I right now are making about $10,000 a month with Gator. We're so happy. We're so grateful. And I was like, oh, cool. Can I call you if I ever need money? She's like, why do you need money? I'm like, dude, I never have money.
You have $4,000 right now.
I do. I showed you on my bank. I showed you guys my bank account today. I have $6,000. Eric Fuller says, but how many bank accounts do you have? One personal and lots of business ones. Yes, Eric, but here's the thing. Let me teach you a couple of things about how you guys are incorrectly living your lives. Okay, I'm gonna be your bishop, your preacher, and your father here for a second. This is my account that I operate my stuff out of, okay? Do you think it's appropriate for me to go to my business accounts with my business partner, Cody, who runs our wholesale operation, our title and escrow company, our Start Virtual company? Do you think it's appropriate for me to be an asshole and just jump into my business accounts where my partner is my partner and go, I'm out of money personally, so I'm gonna come into our business account and I'm gonna pull money out of my business account? Guys, come on. My partner Cody and I do not do lending together. I do my lending on my own. So when you are a grown up and you have multiple businesses, you don't play Ponzi scheme with your companies. You let them operate by themselves, okay? I don't steal from my companies anymore. I used to.
Do you have access to their business bank account?
Yeah, I have. If I pulled up my other bank accounts, of course, I have debit cards, a credit card, but I'm a grown up. I'm 40 years old now. My mom would tell me I'm a big boy.
Mommy, wow, I'm a big kid now.
I'm a big boy now. I'm over commingling funds is what it's called. How many of you knuckleheads in here, I used to be one of them about 4 years ago, that you guys all have all your money going into one account like a pure knucklehead, right? Just say yes. Okay, amazing. Look at this. People are saying no. Okay, some of you are knuckleheads. Just say, definitely not anymore. The answer is not anymore, right? I was there too. I did it wrong myself for a long time. But now that my accounts are separated, the money that I can control without anybody's permission is only $6,000 today. That's all I have. Any other accounts that I have require business partner permissions or going in and telling somebody, hey, I'm pulling money out of this account. And that's not for lending, it's for payroll and it's for construction costs. I'm not running a Ponzi scheme, I'm running multiple businesses. We're all on the same page, right guys? Okay, we're learning things the right way. Okay, so of course I have other business accounts. Yes, I have access to money. Worst case scenario, I could get my hands on money, but do you think it's better for me to just maybe go to a Gator like Danny Gish and go, hey, Danny, I need $5,000 today and pay her a couple grand than to go in and mess up the accounting in one of my businesses and have the mindset that that whole process is even okay? Okay, that mindset is not okay. You cannot scale and be an enterprise. You go from being a solopreneur to an entrepreneur, which is, you know, like by yourself, but you're at least full time. Then you go to small business owner with a couple of employees. And that's where most people stop because they commingle, they mismanage their money, they don't invest properly, they don't know how to hire properly. What I do is I'm trying to shoot for being an enterprise. An enterprise requires me to manage my money properly. Okay. All right, cool. So I called Danny Gish. And Danny Gish, she's told me the other day, she's like, we're doing Gator, like not full time, but we're making 10 grand a month and we're just starting out. I think by the end of the year, my husband will be able to quit and we're having this great conversation. I'm like, great, give me your phone number. If I ever need money, I'll call you. So I call Danny. This is what happens. Danny says yes. And she wires the $5,000 to title that day. Okay. What did I find out about Danny? As I found out about the deal, I found out that the $5,000 that she wires to title, right? And she covered my EMD requirement. I found out she was out of money herself. So she called another Gator in the tribe and she got $5,000 from somebody else. What would this be called? What would that action be called, guys? There you go. Gator Wrestling, right? She grabbed another Gator. She wrestled the money together. And then I paid her a $3,000 fee, I believe, for 7 days of money. Okay. Now, how did I replace her money? Where did the money come from? Well, in order for me to buy the deal, I obviously had to have Danny cover the earnest money to make sure that I was compliant and I opened escrow. So this is what happens. This is how the deal works. Myron, here's the contract. Myron goes to the title company, puts that contract at the title company. Title company says, where is the $5,000? And Myron says, oh, don't worry, Pace, the buyer, is going to wire the $5,000. I go, I don't have $5,000. So I make a phone call to Danny Gish. Danny says, crap, I don't have the money. So she finds another Gator in the community, and that Gator and her form a JV agreement. Always document these relationships with JV agreements, okay? So what they do is they agree, hey, let's just split the money 50-50. Danny says, I brought the deal to the table. The other Gator says, I brought the money to the table. And that Gator wires their money to the title company, not to Pace. Never, ever, ever wire money to anybody but the title company, ever. Under no circumstances should you wire money to an individual. It should always, always, always be a title company, and it should always be documented with the appropriate contracts. This is one of the things that Kevin Choe has been doing incorrectly, like an idiot, okay? But it's a cautionary tale. We'll fix it. We'll educate you guys on that stuff. So how does the Gator and Danny get their money back in this situation, right? They wired $5,000. How do they get their money back? Because if I didn't have the money in the first place, where is my $5,000 plus their $3,000 return coming from? Close of escrow. So Daryl, you are correct. Close of escrow. But there you go. Steve Peters got it. Okay. Hey guys. So Rick says, I got scammed sending it to someone recently. Glad to be hearing this training. Rick, just so you know, this is probably the 42nd training I've done and the 1,000th time I've said openly to never wire money to an individual. Has anybody heard me say that at least 100 times? Give me a yes in the comments. I do feel like a broken record all the time. In fact, my next company, Prime Corporate Services, asked me, what do you want us to call your holding company? And I said, Broken Record LLC. And they were like, why? And I go, because I feel like I have to say the same thing 100 times a day as if it's the first time I've ever said it. Yeah, that is true. Michael Wee says that's true of any real estate transaction. Never wire money to people. Always goes to the title company. The title company is the guardian of the real estate transaction. All right, cool. So Steve already answered the question. How does this Gator get their $5,000 back, right? Because they have $5,000 sitting at title. So this is how I pay them back. I then go to a private money lender, okay? And I am gonna teach you guys also how to be private money lenders as a bonus. Do we already remember that? Type in the word bonus if you guys remember that I'm gonna teach you guys as a major bonus how to become a private money lender inside of Gator as a major, major bonus. So I'll get a private money lender. My private money lender terms are much lower than Gator, right? Gator is short-term. Gator is always short-term, short durations, looking for chunks of money, and you're always JVing on the deal. You're not a lender, you're a joint venture partner. The private money lender, however, for me, they put up $40,000 for this deal at 8% interest only for 5 years. So I have 5 years to pay them off. I have a monthly payment of 8% interest only. What is my monthly payment, Kevin? Pull out your phone. So let's do the math on it. It's take 40,000, multiply by 0.08, divide by 12.
266.
Great. So for my private money lender's money, they'll get a $266 monthly payment every month out of my future cash flow from that deal. So that 40 grand goes to the title company. And out of that 40 grand, 5 grand goes back to the Gator JV plus $3,000. And then there's remaining $32,000 that sits here. Portion of that goes to Myron and Carolyn for their assignment fee. They got $15,000 on that assignment. Seller got $5,000. The title company made $5,000 on closing costs. And I have basically $7,000 left over that went to the seller. Okay, so seller got $7,000. 20 grand went to the assignment plus the, seller got 5 grand. The 7 grand's for my renovation and my first couple months of payments. So I then get the $7,000 and that covers a couple of my renovations and a couple of payments so that I'm taken care of. Does everybody understand how that money flows? Give me a yes if you understand. Pretty simple, right? So private money lender is much lower interest. So if you ever ask me another question in your life and you guys, can you just tell me how this works? I literally just told you how it works. Do we all agree? I drew stick figures. I know this is confusing because this pace buyer guy.
I've been doing a lot of wholesale deals, so it's just not in my radar.
But you have a TC.
I do, yeah.
So all you have to do is have your TC go and take all the paperwork training to make sure that now every time a deal is done, what you should be doing is because your TC is now on staff, right?
Yeah.